just waiting on the okay from the tech team. Oh, well, all right, we're good, we're good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th edition of the LJMU MA Short Film Festival. Today, tonight is the animation strand, and we have a great lineup for you, 12 distinct animated short films from around the world, from Bulgaria to Brazil. And animation in recent years has been stereotyped as being only for children, but that couldn't really be further from the truth. From the highest grossing animated film of all time, Nerja 2, to dialogue-free hits such as Flow and Robot Dreams, to darker stories such as Memoir of a Snail, there's something for a lot of different demographics and a lot of different audiences. And as the great Guillermo del Toro said, animation is not just a genre for kids, it's a medium. And we hope that with the films we've selected tonight, you're able to see and experience the vast possibilities of animation and the vast possibilities of animation and also the possibilities of student-made animated films.
This is Oscar. I'm Viv. We're both MA film students here at John Moores. Now, you're in for a treat tonight. Last night, we had 9 films, documentaries, all exploring people and the problems that they have in their lives. And the films shone a lens into a world that we knew nothing about. Tonight's no different. You will, for example, do you know the Cat Cafe in Bowl Street? We have a film about a cat cafe in Paris. And the cats are frustrated because that's their day job. Their real love is jazz. And when the moon comes out and the owner leaves, the cats start life properly. So that's coming up. Then we have a film exploring the frustrations of a weak vampire whose victim is a grandma who mistakes him for a grandson. And finally, we have a film, a lovely film, about a young girl who goes back to school after the school holidays, and as kids often are, they're asked to draw what they did in their school holidays, but she is really embarrassed that her colleagues are going to laugh at her. So we've got that.
All those and much more, and we have an audience award as well. So at the end of each film, there will be a brief QR code which you can scan to vote for the film in the audience award on our website. It's also available directly on our website and on the nice programs that you all got on the way in. So yeah, look out for that, and we'll be announcing that with our. Do you want to do further events?
Yeah. Tomorrow we have fiction. On Thursday, experimental. Friday's the big night at Scale. That's the award ceremony. Don't miss that. And there will be drinks there. That's another attraction.
And we also have a Letterboxd page. So if you're on Letterboxd, if you enjoy Letterboxd as I do, I put together the page so that everyone can rate, review, and log the films. But we also have a competition where if you review 10 or more films on the page, 50 words or more, you'll be eligible to win, or potentially win, a £50 Amazon voucher.
And your chances are quite good, because at the moment...
We've not had many entries, yeah.
No one's actually done it. So, just giving you a heads up there.
So with all that said, we hope you enjoy the show. But before we get into our 12 film program, we have the trailer for the animation strand, which I edited. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dois, três, quatro.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone, and we're joined now by, I believe, 5 of our filmmakers. I guess just to get things started, hello, everyone. I'm Oscar,
I'm Viv.
and we were the presenters of this evening's show. Thank you so much for being here and for presenting us all your great films.
Yeah, we had about 2,500 entries, so you can congratulate yourselves on
That's
being
overall,
short.
but
overall,
yeah.
there was a lot of competition, so you've done so well to get this far. And we've had a fantastic evening watching all the films, including, of course, yours. What we'd like to do is kick off by you introducing yourself and saying what film you made and where you're from and where you went to college. So in any order, off you go.
Yeah, we.
Okay. Okay. Well, should we start with Aisha?
Aisha, would you like to start?
Hi, yeah, my name is Aisha. I was the director and animator for Billy. I'm based in London, and I'm currently attending the National Film and Television School on a MA for directing animation.
Thank you. That's great. Sonu, you were first to join us tonight, so off you go.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sonu. I'm the director of The Man Who Loved Flowers. I went to university studying animation in Arts University Bournemouth, and I'm currently based in Birmingham, well, the north of Birmingham, but yeah, in Birmingham.
Thank you. Lewis, can you put your camera on, please?
Okay, I don't have a camera on my monitor. I'm trying to sign in on my iPad, but everything's been not working. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
I'll try and get it on eventually. But in the meantime, I can introduce myself. Hi, I'm Lewis. I'm the director of Why Won't Anyone Eat Me, the Scab film.
Okay.
I'm from the same university as Sonu, Arts University Bournemouth, and I'm currently based and born in Wales, Cardiff.
Okay, thank you very much. Linda, do you want to put your camera on?
Hi. I don't see anyone else, so I thought there was something weird going on.
Oh, no. We've got everybody except Lewis, who's having technical difficulties.
Oh, I don't see anyone else. I just see, and now I see just myself. So, but that's okay. I'm Linda. I worked on puzzle pieces, and I graduated from University of the Arts in Utrecht last year in the Netherlands, and I still live there.
Okay.
Right. And finally, Ottilie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ottilie. I directed Le Chateau de Chat, and I studied at Arts University Bournemouth as well, and I'm currently based in Brighton.
Brilliant.
All right, that's great.
Yeah. If we can start, we'd like. Shall I start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aisha, Billy. One of my favourites. The characters. Were they based on anyone? Give us a story behind the film.
I mean, in all honesty, it was actually part of a workshop as part of the course where all the animation directors come up with a character, and then all the screenwriters come up with a character, and we get randomly jumbled up, and we have to come up with a film based on it. So I came up with the character of Billy because I thought it was really funny to have a really responsible kid, and then the other character was this disfigured ex-model, and we kind of developed the idea and made it into this story of the relationship between a mother and a son.
Well, that's brilliant. So was there any particular interest in child carers? Did it come from anywhere? Any of you on the film?
I think, yeah, me and the writer have had experience in the past with, being kind of kids who are independent, and no, neither of us, I guess, to the extent of Billy, having to really care for our parents or be in the role of a caregiver. But I think, I'm the eldest child. I've kind of cared for my siblings, and I kind of have that sense of, oh, I'm so independent, So yeah, I guess maybe a part of me thinks that I am a bit Billy-esque.
Yeah.
But also I think I just really love how cute he is and how much we want him to win, even if he doesn't.
It was cute. It was one of the shortest and yet one of the most moving of our films tonight. It really got you. Okay.
Moving to Sonu for The Man Who Loved Flowers. I was very interested in on Film Freeway, which is the platform we use to watch your films in the initial run of this festival. You said in your director's statement that there's very little South Asian representation in the Western animation industry, and I noticed that, you know, obviously the South Asian culture and life is very much a part of this film, including the title that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's in Malayalam first and then English. So I just wanted to ask if you could expand on that statement you made.
So what I mean is, when I say there's very little South Asian representation, it's such, there are so many different types of cultures in Asia itself. You know, usually when we think of Asia, we think of, the East Asian countries like China or Korea, Japan, and obviously then we've got India, and then we've got Pakistan. But there are so many different traditions and customs and fashions and food that, you know, is waiting to be represented and to be introduced to the Western audiences. So I think my film did not elaborate as such, because it wasn't the focus of the film, but it was supposed to have a universal message that was able to connect with a lot of people, and at the same time introduce them to my own culture, which I've been brought up in. So that was my point of making it something from South India. So that's where I'm from.
Well, that's great. Yeah, no. Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, and yeah, as a fan of South Indian cinema as well, I can say as one, there's a lot to discover that perhaps the West hasn't fully embraced. But
could we move on to Chateau Le Chat? Again, a short film, but extremely funny. I just wondered, I had so many questions I wanted to ask you, Ottilie. It was, first of all, is it a love of cats? Is it a love of jazz? Why Paris? Why France? Tell me the story behind the story.
Yeah, definitely a love of cats. I love cats. I have two, and I've grown up with cats. I think they are the best animal on earth. I also think cats can be quite funny, and so when I was thinking of what to make, the idea of, well, I love cat cafes as well. When I in Bournemouth there is one, so I went there a lot, and I just like the idea of cats being a very clean, they're usually very clean, self-sufficient animals, and so they kind of work with cafes. And I remember when the UK got their first cat cafe, it was a whole thing to like work around the health and safety for cats. And I thought it would be quite funny to show cats adhering to like being waiters and stuff. I do love jazz. It's something I'm trying to get into. I'm not gonna pretend I know a whole lot, but it's a music I appreciate. And as for setting it in Paris, I just thought the two went well together, and I spent a lot of time growing up in Paris as well. And I just have a big love for the time I spent there as a child. And I just kind of wanted this film to sort of be like, not to sound cliche, but it is like a love letter to where I grew up, kind of.
It certainly is. Can you tell us a bit about the music? Obviously was important. Who was it, a friend who composed it, or yourself?
Yes, it was someone on our film course at university, I believe Hayden Anderson. I think that's his last name, but Hayden. I worked closely with him, and he volunteered to help make the music because he was very excited to work on something a bit jazzy. And yeah, it was, as you said, it was very important for me because the music is what's telling the story. There's no dialogue here, and it's what leads the cafe through the different stages of, you have the cafe at closing where it's all very calm and relaxing, and then this nighttime jazz cafe in full swing, and then it all is very abruptly silent. Yeah. And then it's sort of a more calm swing at the end of it when everything is resolved. And yeah, the music was very important to me, and Hayden worked, I think he did a great job on the music for this film as well.
Yeah, it's great. We've got a cat cafe in Liverpool, and I'm just imagining the cats right now. It was very entertainment.
Yeah, what goes on there after
what goes on
doors,
there when the moon comes up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My close friend used to work at one of the cat cafes in London, and this is what I say is the main how I came up with the film, because apparently the main complaint they would always get is that the cats just sleep all day.
Yeah.
Even though cats, they're big sleepers, but that was a complaint she got from a lot of customers. So I would just think like, well, they sleep all day. What are they up to at night? And then I just sort of ran with that.
Well, now we know.
Mhm.
Okay.
So moving on to Lewis for Why Would Anyone Eat Me? I'm sure many people in the audience are curious what led you to make the film that opens with scabs immediately and it has that focus.
So, can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah, great,
you're
yeah.
doing good.
Lovely. I have no idea where the initial scab premise came from. That was maybe some sort of weird divine intervention. But the moment I had that thought, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so despite all my other film ideas, I had a lot of other film ideas, but none of them outlived that one. Like, I'm still thinking about that concept. So it's very interesting to me. But then the experience of pitching that idea to my friends and having them be like, ew, that's really disgusting, turned into the emotional center of the film, of this scab chef who has this thing they're so passionate about be rejected by the outside world. That's sort of my experience in pitching the film about scabs became the sort of meta narrative within the film.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it certainly got a visceral reaction from our audience, I would say. Yeah. So I also wanted to ask about why did you decide ultimately to center on a female protagonist in the center of this one? I mean, from my perspective, I think it creates quite a sort of humorous contrast between sort of how nice and sort of polite she is, and then sort of the grossness of the food she's making. You know, but I wonder what you think.
So thank you for not misgendering our character, by the way. A lot of people always thought she was male, which is probably a fault on the character design aspect. So that's something I kind of regret, is not going further into that contrast, where like she's kind of cute, but she could have been cuter. We could have really gone into that contrast of like really cute character, really disgusting thing. Was the question like why we chose that?
Yeah. As I say, for me, there's an interesting contrast between that and her sweetness in the food. But what do you think?
I mean, that's just it. It is really interesting engaging to have that contrast, and that contrast is in like other places of film as well. It's like there's the contrast in the character and the thing they do, cooking scabs, and there's also the contrast within the viewer of them wanting to empathize with this cute character while they do a thing that disgusts them. And so you kind of want to sympathize with them, but you also don't. You're like, you're so cute and adorable, but get away from me. I really like that contrast.
Yeah. You said in your description you wanted to be brave, and you've certainly been brave in that, and it's certainly got a laugh. And we tried to get room for like the cat cafe and yours for the cute and the different, and I think both of you have done that. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Lewis.
Linda.
Hello.
Hello again. Puzzle pieces. Okay. What made you think of the story? What's the background to that?
Well, it started out really different, actually. My first concept was actually more about a grandchild and a grandpa, and it was more about that grandchild being scared to death of her own grandfather because he has Alzheimer's and he's like a sickly old man, and it scared her so much. And it kind of came from my own experiences with family members who had Alzheimer's and also eventually died from it. Especially one case when I was a lot younger with my great uncle who when we visited him in his care home, he was like kind of a husk of a person, and it scared me so much when I was a kid. But I realized when I was developing that story that story didn't really work as well as I wanted to, because I felt like that kid could run away at any point. And I felt like it was really hard to sympathize with Grandpa because he was pretty scary. So I decided to make the relationship a little closer, a little bit more sympathetic between a daughter and a father. And I feel like I managed to convey that feeling of a bit of a fear of losing your lost one in that a little bit better than kid who is scared of grandpa. So that's kind of how it came to be.
So the puzzle analogy was great. How did you come across that idea?
That actually happened pretty accidentally. I was like, I wanted the two of them to have something to do before everything starts to go wrong. And I was like, okay, I was thinking about old people activities, I guess, like things that my grandmother would do a lot. My grandmother really liked puzzles and games, like board games. So I kind of like implemented a little jigsaw puzzle into that. And then my teacher was like, that works really well. So I was like, I feel like I was just really in touch with my intuition there, to be honest.
That's great. Should we open it up?
I'll do one more.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Sonu, I just had one more question for you. So the film has a lot of the film has, I guess, sort of a poetic quality in the sense that this narration kind of guides us through, and there's also a lot of quite striking imagery, quite sort of beautiful imagery of the flowers and the garden shed at the end and everything. I was wondering, is there but I will say, as far as compared to some of the other animated shorts we've had, it doesn't go far outside the realms of realism. So is there a particular reason why you wanted to tell this story in animation rather than in live action or another medium?
I think I just have a love for animation in general. I think a lot of people have thought that, well, some of the categories that this film has gone into is for children's categories, which is understandable because a lot of animated films are catered towards children. So in a sense, this, in a way, having animated reaches to a wider audience for children and older people, whereas with older audiences, they would get a more meaningful message, whereas for children, they would just understand a lot more of the visuals and the flowers and things like that. I think that's just the main reason. I just prefer animation more than live action. It's just such a vivid way of telling a story, and especially with the style that we wanted to go with, you know, with flowers and things like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I totally get it, and it came across very well. Thank you very much. So yeah, should we open it up to the audience?
Yeah, you can ask the directors any question you want.
Will?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Is the microphone is it working?
Yes.
A question for Lewis. So obviously watching the film, I got sort of elements of Ratatouille, Ren and Stimpy, these sort of old cartoons. I was wondering, what are the exact influences for the film for you?
Ratatouille is one of them. Ratatouille, and if you know Joanna Quinn, there's Affairs of the Art, which I was really inspired by for like weirdness and cuteness and kind of obsession, which came into the film. And then there was one other for story, which is Freddy Got Fingered, which if you know that film, you might be quite surprised. But I really liked the way that Freddy Got Fingered as a film balances like sincere engagement with detached irony, and that makes so many like comedic moments in the film, even though it's like a ridiculous film that should never have been made. I love it. And then visually, probably Sylvain Chomet, Triplets of Belleville is the main one, and then a bit of Masaki Uasa, Mind Game, Ping Pong, the animation, for like the line style and the way we animated it.
I love Freddy as well, so thank you.
That's great.
No way. Oh my God.
Right. Anyone else? Any questions? Anybody? We have one.
Hi, just wanted to say that all of the films were great tonight. Really, really fun. What have you got planned for the future? Can we expect to see any further adventures of the Scab Chef, or maybe dropping into the Cat Cafe? That's to all of you, by the way.
But I mean, that's an interesting question. What have you got planned, or would you ever expand on the films that you've made? What's in the future for you all? Yeah, choose. Lewis, let's start. You were last to speak. Let's start with you.
Okay. Because my current goal is to be surrounded by as many fantastic animators as I can and learn as much as I can from them. So my goal right now isn't to make another film. My goal is to work on other people's films and learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably won't see much original stuff from me for a while, unfortunately.
Okay,
But
that's very sad.
maybe.
Very sad. Linda.
I'm actually kind of obsessed with an Edgar Allan Poe story right now that I kind of want to adapt.
Uh-huh.
It's called The Facts in the Case of M. Valdemar, and it's about this mesmerist that mesmerizes someone who's on the edge of death. And I kind of want to lean more into absurdism with it.
Okay.
But I want to work on that as a short film, and for the rest of my life, I really just want to make films. That's it,
Brilliant.
really.
Absolutely. Yeah. Aisha?
Aisha, anything for you?
I think I've definitely talked to people who were sad that they never got to see Billy make it to the science fair. So I don't know. I like the idea of having because I think I'm in love with Billy. I take him everywhere I go because he's so cute, his little puppet. So I think I like the idea.
Listen, we all want Billy to make it to the science fair. I'll come anywhere to see that film.
Yeah, I think because also Billy's character, originally he was kind of not a nice guy. I don't want to swear, but he's a bit of an ass. So I feel bad that we never got to see that side of him because he's kind of so uptight and such I'm a big boy. So it'd be fun to get to see that side of him and kind of get to see what he's like when he's not trying to.
I think Billy could have his own TV series.
Honestly, yeah, get him on the big screen more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Billy. I'm working on another film right now for my grad film for my MA. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of put more about that out there. But yeah, as for Billy, we shall see in the future.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Ottilie, how about you?
I have thought about expanding on the world of the Cat Cafe. I would probably love to do something with the same characters. I don't know if I will, but I definitely want to keep making films about cats, at the least. I want to work on things that are going to be funny and silly and cute. But I have thrown around the idea of another cat cafe with because obviously the cat cafe is 60s and jazz, and then I've just sort of let my brain run of what if I do a totally different vibe decade with different music. Just the same thing, repeat it, just do it again.
But do you know what? Funny, silly, cute, and musical sounds a great recipe to me.
I hope something. Yeah. I hope I can come up with something.
It's certainly worked for us tonight.
Yeah. And Sonu, any projects in the future you want to talk about?
Well, I can't do much with the Man Who Loved Flowers because the Man Who Loved Flowers is dead. But we can't. But in terms of future projects, I think I really would like to venture into different genres, other than the one that was explored with the Man Who Loved Flowers. I'd love to do more on comedy or maybe to do with thrillers or things like that, because we don't have many animated thrillers or murder mysteries. I think that would be fun. But I would like to adventure more on styles, looking at traditional artworks like paintings and seeing how that can inspire animation in my animated projects and such. So yeah.
All right, great, thank you. And any more questions from the audience?
Questions?
No? Lydia?
It's our course tutor asking you a question now.
It's okay. It's quite an open question, but because you are all animators and you are the only strand of ours, because we have the rest of the films are kind of either documentary or live action. I wanted to ask you about the particular styles that you chose to make your films and whether the styles, because they're all very, very different. I'm not sure if you've seen each other's films, but they're all very, very different, and whether these are styles that you feel you're going to kind of carry on in one way or another. For instance, Aisha's is very, very, well, I don't want to describe them, but they're all very different. So whether it's the style that also is something that is, characterizing the way you see your work going forward, basically. That's all.
Should we start with Lewis first? The style.
Hello. The style that we went for in the film is like very sort of high quality technically. It's all on twos. Most of the animation isn't very choppy. It's very smoothly done. And that is nice and beautiful in a way, but also I really admire some other animators' like ability to be able to make an animated shot with as few frames as possible and just use only what they need, which is what I want to learn how to do. So they'll probably change into something a little bit more minimal. Now, yes.
Linda.
Yeah, I want to lean a little bit more into tactility, because my film was done all on paper, but I scanned everything and I animated everything digitally. I want to go back to more stop motion and cut out on paper a little bit more and actually work more with my hands. I think, yeah, that's a direction I want to go into.
Okay. Aisha?
Actually, the film that I'm kind of developing right now, we're kind of expanding from using the kind of paper cutouts for the mouths and doing all the stop motion puppets cutouts with the eyes and the mouth, so that it kind of maintains that drawn quality while still being really animated. So yeah, I guess style-wise, we're kind of taking, I guess, call it the realism of what Billy had, and kind of trying to extrapolate more of a cartoonish kind of like childlike experience, because as you know, I know that Billy was really like low energy and really kind of somber, but the what I'm working on now almost is kind of like has a lot of, you know, sad stuff, because I like when things are sad, but there's also like much more energy to kind of contrast it, so that when it hurts, it really hurts.
Yes, yeah, it really was sad. Okay, Ottilie.
The biggest like style inspiration for the Cat Cafe was like a lot of French and Belgian comics, and it is an art style I love, and I would love to sort of keep working with it. I think I want to sort of try and teach myself more caricature style as well, because I think that can really push my artwork. And I just want, yeah, I think it's a really fun style. It's really like ink brushy and very fast strokes, and I love that about it. And I think it's quite challenging to put into animation, but a lot of works do it really well, and that's something I would love to keep working at. Yeah.
How about you, Sanu?
I think the style that we did for our film was obviously, it was lineless and it was very, very painterly. And I loved the style that we did, and I think it was executed. I believe that we executed it really well. But
brilliant.
In terms of in future, it would definitely look incredible if it was on a in 3D. So I've seen a lot of, you know, when you can do like 2D painterly brushstrokes on like with 3D models, and I think it would just look even, it would just take it even further. So that's something I would explore.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Any more questions from the audience? Ruth?
Hello, thanks so much. They've been brilliant programme of films this evening, animation. I just want to ask, I don't know if this is a silly question, because I'm presuming it is kind of final year projects that you've sort of been submitting, but I'm just wondering how long it took to create these. And some of you are saying we did this, and if you could just say a little bit about, you know, if you were working on your own, if you were collaborating with people. So just give us an idea of how lengthy it was to create these animations, and if you were collaborating or on your own. Thanks.
Okay, should we start with Lewis again?
So at Arts University Bournemouth, there were final films, and each one is made across the school year. I don't know how many months that is in total. I can't think of it right now, but we had our year group had a surprisingly larger teams than most year groups. So for our team, we had 10 core members. That's people who are basically in the studio working on the film every day, every school day. And then like a total of 27 people who had some part in the film, whether it was voice acting, additional animation, music, sound effects, etc.
So the time period was what, 6 months, a year?
A year. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
started in September. Oh, no, we started in October and ended in, I believe, June.
Okay. That's great. Thank you, Linda. Time period and
Yeah.
people involved.
Yeah. For me, it was like 2 school years because I had some stuff going on. Like the film was not going as planned, and I had some mental health problem, and I also ended up continuing one summer, so I took quite a while on it. But it was a a graduation film that I took, yeah, about 2 years on, and I did most of it on my own, but I did involve a lot of people. Like I involved someone for the music, I involved someone for the sound effects, and I had some assistance with background sketches, and I had some assistance with the design of the location. And I also had someone help me with planning because I have terrible ADHD, and I suck at planning, and I suck at keeping myself responsible. So I had help in that department, but I didn't do most of it myself, and I animated everything myself.
Well, you might suck at planning, but the result was brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Aisha, how long did it take you to make Billy?
So Billy was kind of a shorter project. I think it was about 6 months total. So about 3 months of development, 3 months of shooting. And yeah, team in total was about 6 people. I did all the animation. I built the puppets. It was my first time like building like puppets, so if they look a little janky, that's why. But yeah, and it was a very fast turnaround. I think I was really like putting long hours to try and finish it on time, but I'm glad I did. So yeah, made the deadline.
And that was your first time at building the did you call them Muppets?
Puppets.
Yeah. Ottilie. And how long did it take you to make the cats? The chateau.
So as Lewis said, at Arts University Bournemouth, we take the whole of our third year to make the films. I sort of did all the concept stuff the year before, and then I had a team of 8 people total, which was working with 7 people. We had like 4 people on layout and background and props, and then 4 of us just animating everything. And yeah, they kind of, everyone on our team also just dipped into every area that needed help as well. So I even did some help on backgrounds, or the background artist helped us color it just so we could meet the deadline. And yeah, then we had one person on music, 1 person on sound design, and then about 2 or 3 extra people coming in to help us at the end, just to like color some of the frames as well.
Brilliant. Sonu, how long did it take you to make The Man Who Loved Flowers?
Similarly to Lewis and Art, The Man Who Loved Flowers was made as a grad film in Arts Uni Bournemouth. So it did take about a year. There were 7 of us as a team, so 4 of us were animators, and 3 of us were background painters. But I think because the style was really specific, and I was just being a bit of a pain and, wanting it to look very, consistent, there were only really 2 of us that were consistently background painting. That we did have a lot of external help, though. I think we had a couple of other background painters. And there was one person that we actually bribed with a cheesecake to do some key shots.
Whatever works.
Yeah. So, but that was that. And we had obviously we had a composer as well, and a sound designer. And yeah, I think fun fact actually, some of the so the noises, the bird sounds in the beginning. I actually did go to India during the production. I went to India and got some sounds recorded from our back garden when we were there.
So a real slice of authenticity there.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah. Plus, my takeaway is know someone who makes good takeaway and have your own composer.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it was fun.
That's brilliant.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's brilliant.
Any more questions in the audience? Should I ask? Oh no,
We-
John. Okay.
Just a quick one to Lewis. The major studios seem to have a tendency to remake beloved cartoons of the past and animations of the past as live performances. I just wondered if we could have your assurance that you will never make a live remake of Scabs.
Never say never, Lewis. No.
Come on, Disney, make it happen. Come on.
That was great. Right.
Well, could I have one more? Okay. Okay. I just had one last question for Aisha. I think for when I was looking through the cast of the film, preparing for this, I saw that Lizzie Waterworth is the voice of Billy, and for people of a certain age, i.e. my age, I think Lizzie Waterworth's voice means a lot because she is the voice of Horrid Henry in the Horrid Henry series. So I was just curious how she got involved with the project.
Yeah, we were really lucky to get her. I think we managed just through the course to kind of acquire just some key actors to kind of help essentially do voice acting for each of the films. And when I needed a little boy character, they managed to get someone who had a really good record on doing that. And so yeah, I think I had no real kind of flaw in it. I was just really grateful that the course was able to get her. And yeah, it was really weird because I grew up watching Horrid Henry as well. So when we were doing the voice recordings, I found myself like trying to be like, no, this it's too Horrid Henry. You gotta, he's more vulnerable. He's more sad. But no, she was amazing. She was really good. And I think you kind of are like, you take a gamble sometimes and you get adults doing voice acting for kids. But she was, I was really happy at how she managed to perform it. So. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great because when I first watched it, I didn't recognize the connection, and I didn't immediately make the connection. And it wasn't until after I looked it up that I was like, I hear it now. Yeah. So yeah, it's very well done. Thanks very much.
Yeah. No.
Oh, and while we're here, and while you're all here together, do you guys want to ask each other as filmmakers any questions?
That stumped you, hasn't it?
Give him time.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. We're
No.
just,
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I guess we'll moving swiftly on.
I want to wish you all luck. We have a panel. The awards ceremony's on Friday, and we have an audience. Then we have people have a QR code you can vote for. So you've got two ways of winning, but you have. I know I keep saying this, done so well to get shortlisted that we've ploughed through an awful lot of. Oscar and I were on the animation.
We've watched lots of films, and
yeah.
I mean, if you look at the stats, yes, it's you're very. Yes. You're in a great position.
Yeah, absolutely, to get this far. Yeah. And we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, yeah. Should we give a round of applause to our filmmakers, everyone?
Yeah.
And thanks all for coming. Naja 2 and Flow, both in cinemas. Support animation on the big screen.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, and good night, everyone. Good luck, good luck. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. And thank you. Thank you.